Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. Today is currently December 4th, and we're going to be looking at the Magnificent Seven. Well, really just the mega cap companies, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, NVDA, and Tesla and Meta. So starting off with Apple, what is very, very interesting about Apple is that we actually gapped down. Apple had a big rally and wick recovery, a little bit of a hanging man daily candle. So that typically is a bearish price action candle. Now, what I'm going to do in this analysis is very, very simple. We're going to turn on the 7 daily simple moving average and the 3 moving average. So they're very, very tight in correlation, but the pink one you can clearly see below is the simple 3-day moving average. It's taking the trend of the last 3 days. And then you take the yellow one, which is the simple 7 daily moving average. And what we can see here based off of Apple's price action is we simply got today, just off of today's price action, a bearish crossover where the 7 daily, sorry, the 3 simple moving average crosses over with the 7 simple moving average. So the pink crossed over with the yellow. The last few times this happened was right over here. Apple ended up seeing a pretty big fall once that crossover happened. Apple saw about a 7.3% fall respectively. Then over here, when that crossed over, Apple saw basically another 6.6% fall respectively with a bounce, but ultimately falling roughly 9.8%. Up top here, we also saw that crossover happen, and basically Apple fell an 11%. So we just got that crossover yet again today. And what's interesting is that if we throw on yet again another moving average, the 20 simple moving average, we actually bounced off of the 20 today. Just like we did over here, we actually bounced and held the 20. But the big thing from the market is as soon as that simple 3-day moving average, so the pink one, crosses over with the 20, that's when you need to really be watching for a bigger move to the downside. Let's keep doing this same exercise on the other mega caps. So I'm just going to turn off the 20. We'll keep that on. Let's move along to Microsoft. So look what happened with Microsoft where the pink moving average crossed over with the yellow one. Let me just erase that trend line. You can clearly see we've gotten another 3 days of downside since that price action crossed over. Again, the last times that this happened was over here. Microsoft ended up getting a bounce. That bounce was short-lived by a gap down, and price action faded and fell. You also got the crossover here. Microsoft fell. So lots of potential bearish price action setting up for the mega caps. Microsoft has reacted phenomenally well off of that major trend line pivot from your COVID low to a pivot, and it is getting rejected on the weekly chart with that weekly hammer candle reversal. Now, odds are Microsoft actually gets a bounce from here since it is tagging support and putting in a little bit of a bouncing candle. Maybe it fills the gap, but needless to say, there is a strong chance that once this short-term moving average, this pink one, intersects with the 20, it's going to yield more downside. So definitely watch for that 3 simple moving average intersecting with the 20 because that could be signifying a bigger trend change to the downside. All right, let's move along to Amazon. Let's see what's happening with Amazon. Well, same sort of thing. On Friday, we got that bearish crossover. The 7 intersected with the the 3 intersected with the 7, and it is yielding downside. We got a gap down today. The last time we also saw that was right around here. The pink moving average intersects with the yellow, so the 3 intersects with the 7 in a downtrend, and look at the fall on Amazon. It happened again briefly over here, another fall. The opposite is true. When they start curling up, like they did over here, you get a big move. When you started curling up like you did over here, you got a big move. So right now we're just using short-term trends to see if there is a trend changing in the market. And certainly in the Qs, there may be one. Notice how we're also coming up close to basically having the simple 3-day moving average in pink intersecting with the 20. It has not done so yet. But notice when we did it roughly over here, that was when you had your big precipitous fall in Amazon. So paying very close attention to that same simple 3 and 7 day moving average to identify a quick trend change in the markets. Let's see what Google and how Google is shaping up. Google's actually been choppy here. It actually intersected, its trend change happened several days ago, and it's yielding downside. Now, what's going to be interesting about Google is look at this trend change over here, big fall. If we throw on now the 20-day moving average, look what we just intersected on Thursday's price action. We had the short-term 3 in pink intersect with the 20. Now today, after today's fall, we're about to see the 7-day moving average intersect with the 20. The last time we saw the 7-day in yellow intersect with the 20 was right around here, and Google actually fell pretty sharply. We also saw it here, and Google fell pretty sharply. So just be cognizant and mindful that we're starting to see some trend changes in many of the mega cap names, and it certainly could be yielding some more downside. Let's throw in NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is very intriguing as well, because NVIDIA has been actually downtrending a little bit more in the recent weeks since its earnings report. So let me just fix my cursor here. So just blow that up. So we can see NVIDIA actually intersected and changed right up here at that 493 candle, and it's been yielding downside ever since. And then today, with the bearish price action gapping lower, we actually got that crossover yet again on Friday of the 7 and the 20. So this is showing that there is potentially more downside set to assume. Could NVIDIA bounce? I'm actually expecting a minor bounce. But because this trend is now changing, most of the pops on NVIDIA are likely going to be faded. You are coming up into some support here on NVIDIA, which you can arguably say we tagged today, pivot high, pivot high, pivot high. This is your breakout, retrace. If NVIDIA is to bounce and trend higher, this is the spot it needs to hold. But if we get a little bit of a bounce, and I'm expecting a rejection off of this earnings low, which is in yellow, that was where the big gap down in earnings happened in the after hours, and that was the low of the session. I think we could retrace there before the next trend to the downside starts. Let's see how Tesla is faring. All right, so Tesla's a little bit different because Tesla just got the intersection on Friday of the 3 and the 7, but it's still holding above the 20. So Tesla's been consolidating. It's actually, in terms of the mega cap companies, it is actually holding up the best in my opinion, although it's well off of the highs, well off of the lows, and it's not making new all-time highs. Tesla's still in a very tight coiled range. Even with the big downside move in the markets, even though it did fall minus 1.36%, Tesla's actually coiling, and it could actually, believe it or not, make a little bit of a move higher. What I'm watching here is a right shoulder development on Tesla. But again, if we get that crossover of the short-term 3 intersecting with the 20 in a downtrend, then it's likely going to be a short, just like the other mega cap companies. Meta is interesting too. Another prime example. You got that bearish crossover right around here on Tuesday, November 28th, and it's practically been downside ever since. The difference between Meta is you've had a 3 simple moving average intersect with the 20 in a downtrend. The next one to intersect is the 7. We could actually see that intersection tomorrow. Any pop on Meta is likely also going to be faded to the downside. Again, the last time we saw the 7 intersect with the 20 was right around here. Meta actually had 2 hard days, big red candle on volume and a gap down. Obviously that was earnings, but needless to say, the technicals are lining up to be the same. Similar price action over here. Meta had the yellow moving average, the 7 intersect with the blue 20, and look at the downside move. So waiting for a retrace, preferably gap fill, and some of these names are definitely a short. So to sum things up, mega caps could be seeing a trend rotation right now, and that's certainly what we've been seeing in small caps. The big question I have as an investor and trader is, are we going to see capital rotate like it is right now from mega caps to small caps? Or are we going to see continued weakness in the mega caps and then eventually also weakness in the small caps? I'm waiting for a broad market sell-off. We have not had that yet, and I'm watching for that character in the market to change to see if we do get that broad market sell-off where you have the Qs, the SPY, and the Russell 2000. 4,000 selling off. So please give this video a like down below. If you're interested in my Discord at tradingcapital.ca, definitely check out that website. I host a swing trading service where you can join my Discord, get all my entries and exits, position sizing, as well as I tracked insider buying and selling, and there's certainly been some interesting insider buying and selling as of late. On that note, please give this video a big like down below and stay tuned for more price action. Hopefully these videos help. Take care, everybody.